Today I'm here to tell you a little bit about my trip to Spain. It is not a spiritual lesson kind of video, it's more like a storytelling. My name is Liv, and I talk, and I like to talk, and I like to tell stories. So, I came to Spain, I came to Sevilla in the Holy Week of Sevilla. Oh my God, what a treat. I don't know if you know this about me, but I am a flight attendant for a private jet and I travel the world for a living. So, yay, I got it. I made my dream come true. When I was in my 20s, I wanted to travel the world for blah. When I was in my 20s, my dream was to travel the world for a living. And I got this amazing job where I do get to travel the world and get paid in private jets, which is amazing. I'm very grateful to my 30-year-old self that decided to take this career seriously because I ended up in Sevilla in the Holy Week and I did not know. So, this is not just a coincidence. This is one of these synchronicities of life, you may say, or these kind of divine moments that God gives me a big gift. Because I don't know if you believe in astrology or astrocartography or in a way that the divine, it's becoming spiritual. I always have to do something spiritual. Oh my God. I thought I was just going to storytell about Seville. Anyhow, God always puts me in the right place. Actually, going back a few decades ago, when my father passed away, I was grieving for 3 months, and I remember just laying in bed and not really having a spiritual life at the time, but my father passed away. So that was kind of like a turning point for me because I could have chosen to not believe or to believe. And at that moment that my dad died, I became a believer. So I had the first message of many channeling messages that I got throughout my life at that time, and I'll share. I had 3 messages. I'll share one of the messages was, I will always put you where you need to be. Traveling will never be an issue for you. You will always have money to travel, and just trust me, you will be where you need to be. And hence I was in Seville at the Holy Week. What happens? I got sick, I got a cold, and I got my period on the day of the full moon, on the day that I flew on a red-eye flight overnight from Miami to Seville. Let me repeat. I worked an overnight flight, which is like 8 hours, transatlantic on my period with a cold. And I performed amazingly. I don't think anybody realized I had a cold because I hide it very well. I could be an actress too. Thank you, Hollywood. And what happened was I landed in Seville at 10 a.m. on a Thursday and I was dead. I went into my hotel room, and as a traveler, I understand very much about jet lag. So what I do is I stay up as long as I can, and even if I have to go to bed at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., because that's gonna get my circadian rhythm in place, I didn't. I did the thing that you don't do, which is sleep during the day, because then of course at night you're not gonna sleep. But I couldn't. I was like, I lay down in my bed and I disappeared to the world. And I was so excited about Seville. I wanted to go out, I wanted to see everything. I didn't. I just saw my pillow. I slept from 10 a.m. I think it was more or less when I got to my room until midnight. At midnight, I woke up not understanding what happened. I still was sick. I was still on my period. I was still tired even though I slept. And I was still dead. Dead. And I didn't know what to do. So I went back to, I ate something. I ate some chicken soup that I had brought from the flight that I heated up on the hotel kettle. Sorry, hotel. And we do what we gotta do. We do what we gotta do. We're resourceful people. And then what happened was I went back to bed and thought, okay, I'm gonna sleep. I actually asked somebody for some melatonin. So I took some melatonin and I thought, okay, I will sleep. I never take anything to sleep. I normally sleep super well. Of course, I was rolling in bed for the 2-3 hours. Roll. When I heard this very clear message around 2 a.m. saying, go to the procession. And I said, go to the procession. Go to the procession. And I understand, there's many voices in my head. Many. And some of them are like, Some of them are like, ah. And this one was go to the procession. When this voice comes along, I tend to hear it because it's like, yes, sir. I will go to the procession. But then, of course, my mind goes, what? You need to sleep. You are sick. You're on period. You're tired. You're jet lagged. What are you doing? You're going to get up and go to what? Wait a moment. It's 3 a.m. I just had a little glimpse of somebody telling me that there is a procession throughout the night in Seville, in Spain, and it's a big deal. I had no idea what it was because growing up, I used to live in a village in Portugal and they had processions all the time. So my mind knows processions, and the procession in Portugal was about like 3, 4 people, maybe 10. If the village decided to come, maybe 15. And there was not a lot of people in this village. And 2 people holding this little saint and going around the village, with the saint. It was interesting, but not something that would get me up from bed sick on a period at 3 a.m. I don't know why my nose is itching. I just decided to Google it. It's like I was battling myself, but I went and I saw on some images on the internet. I said, oh my God, okay, this is worth it. This is interesting. If you don't know what Seville is in the Holy Week with the processions, Google it. You will be impressed. And I was a little impressed, so I said, okay, I'm going to the procession. So I got dressed, I put some black clothes, whatever. I didn't really care much about hair or makeup. I just tied my hair. It's 3 a.m. Who's going to be out in the streets? Everybody was out in the streets. It was an event. Lots of good looking men. I should have been at my best. I should have been in high heels with some kind of glitter on me, but no, I was all very sober, very black. Something I normally don't do. I normally just wear black for work, or if I have some sort of like party that I want to, but then I'm glam black, not just sober black. And I was sober black. And the taxi driver couldn't really take me wherever it was supposed to be. He's like, oh, the streets are closed, you walk. So I randomly walked, and there were like 5 or 6 processions that night. I have no idea what I was doing. So I just walked to the streets. I started following some people that looked like they had some kind of direction or purpose. There were no Japanese or Asians in the streets, because normally if there are Asian people, they know where they're going because they're very direct. I didn't find any, so I had to follow the Spanish people. And I ended up in this street that had this like corner, and people started gathering, and there was like a silence. And I was just like, oh, it seems to me like this is the place to be. So I started like infiltrating in the crowd, and I started seeing some people with the black hoods, just with the eyes, with like these black tunics, holding this big, I thought it was a stick, but it was a huge candle. And they're all lit candles, and they're all coming, and they're coming, and they're coming, and they're coming, and I'm like, wait, there's 5, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100. There were hundreds, if not thousands of these people. Like they were kind of like in a line, creating like a pathway through the street. And there were policemen, and the policeman was super hot with those tight little police pants. Oh my God. It's going to be on my Instagram if you want to check it out. And then the police guys, they were like making a barrier, so we couldn't really pass, but I was front. I was right there in the front, seeing all these black people, and I said, okay, what is this? Is this it? Okay. But everything was very silent, shh. Everybody was quiet. Not really. There were some teenagers laughing around and whatever, life. And then these people were coming by, these black people. Everybody in the same outfit, same shoes, same socks, very uniform. Amazing, by the way, like high production. Thousands. It was 40 minutes of these black hooded people with the big candles. There was an organization, and then in between, like every 20 minutes, it would be coming one with a little flag or something saying whatever, God, Christ, whatever. And I was just like, okay, what happens then? What happens now? Eventually, after 1 hour that I was there, and it was cold, Christ showed up. First, you hear the lady singing. Apparently when the Christ is coming. People that are in the balconies, these ladies, they start singing this very like sad song, like oh, they sound like they're kind of lamenting, which is true, and this is why I was very sober, because it's about Christ carrying the cross, you know. So this image of Christ carrying the cross came by, and I understood why everything was a little silent, why everything was black. This was like the suffering of Christ. And guess what? Guess who else was suffering? Not just Christ. Myself. I was suffering. I was sick, on my period, jet lagged, didn't understand what was going on. And I felt like there was a connection. There was a lesson there. There was some sort of, okay, I'm not here alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. But this was just the beginning of a few days of being in Seville in the Holy Week that created a big effect on me. So I saw Christ passing by, and I've had another experience maybe a decade ago with Christ that I would like to talk to you, but I think another time, that I had a direct body experience of Christ consciousness, of Jesus Christ. But this time, as I saw Christ passing by, I didn't feel anything. I was just like, wow, surprised. This thing is huge and it's very heavy and it's made of wood and gold, and it's like this huge cart. Probably wouldn't, well, yeah, it occupied the whole street, and I think they had like maybe 30 people under it carrying it, and these people like carrying it with their back. You cannot see the people, you only see the little feet, but that looks like pain. It looks like suffering. And so Christ passed by, and once Christ passed by, you know, and it took like 5 minutes to pass by, people left. And I decided to stay because I was like, oh, I don't think I want to go look for the other processions. I don't know if I stay, if I go, if I stay. So I asked somebody else, is something else coming? They're like, yeah, the Virgin Mary comes. And I said, oh, I want to see the Virgin Mary. Yeah, of course. The girl power, goddess. So I stayed for the Virgin Mary. That was the Virgin Mary that suffers because of Christ. And it took another 40 minutes for her to come. But finally she did come. And guess what? This time I felt, you know, when I felt Christ consciousness back in my other journey, it was from up to down, you know. I don't know how to explain to you. It was like a washing energy, like shra. But this time I felt from down to up the energy of the Virgin Mary, and it wasn't like a feeling of washing. It was a feeling of, it was like a chill, but it's not really a chill. It was very soft, but it's like an activation of all of myself. And I felt a sense of, you know, when I felt Christ, I felt a sense of self-forgiveness and compassion. And this time I felt a sense of just softness, of love, of like, this was good. This was like, was like, like when you smell a flower or when you feel the sunrise in your face. It's that kind of very delicate pleasure of like having a nice cup of tea, or I don't know how to explain this. It was like pleasure. It wasn't a relief. That's what I felt with Jesus Christ. It was more like an adding, you know. I think Jesus Christ came to remove, and the Virgin Mary came to like add. So it's love. It's love. It's the love of the Holy Mother. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I'm very happy I went to the procession. I went back home at 5 a.m. more or less, went to sleep. Still dead, you know, still did the wrong thing to to cure jet lag. So that Friday I also didn't enjoy much, but I did go to a flamenco show. That was great. Later on I saw another procession during the day. They had processions all day long, every day, everywhere. All the streets were closed. It was a big deal, and people outside the procession, the ones that are not participating, everybody's so well dressed, and it's like an event. So I highly suggest going to Spain, to Seville, which is one of the top ones, for the Holy Week. It's quite the spectacle. Then Saturday came and I just walked around this beautiful park. There was a park, it's called Plaza de España in Seville, and it's amazing. I was just frolicking. I love frolicking. Frolicking is my verb from now on. I was frolicking in the park, smelling the flowers. They had roses. I took pictures. I had a cute dress. Then I walked around town. Then I ate some good food. I was just happy, alive, because Saturday was the first day I started feeling more like myself, but I was still jet lagged. And then Sunday came, and I went to the Sunday Mass, of course, at the cathedral. Of course, I'm going to the Sunday Mass at the cathedral. And I got so lucky because I was late to the first Mass, so I couldn't get into the first Mass. But the second Mass is when they had all the processions arriving to the cathedral. So as I was late, I saw Jesus coming in the main door. And I was like, oh, great. So I see this, great. Saw Jesus. Then I saw the Virgin Mary coming in. And then I went around the church because I'm always smart to find out where can I go into the Mass. And not a lot of people knew about this, but enough people. So I went around and I got to this place where you could see the Jesus coming into the cathedral and the Virgin Mary coming into this amazing piece of architecture that is like ginormous with the everything is so beautiful. It's like a lace. It's amazing. It's stunning. You can only witness it live. If you see an image of it, it's not going to give you anything. It's just wow. How humanity, well, Christianity, religion, you know, I don't agree with the religion much, but I agree with what they built. That cathedral is stunning. So I saw the Jesus and the Virgin Mary, and I got first row seat to see the Easter Mass at the Seville Cathedral with the priest right there. He gave me the little thingy, whatever. I am not religious. I was never baptized. So I played hooky there. But I have been, you know, I was raised in a Catholic culture, Brazil. So I understand the behavior, the methods, and I could understand the Mass. It was in Spanish, and the priest was so, wow, he was so clear in the message he was saying. It was absolutely beautiful. I received it fully in my heart. And I was very touched. I was crying, I was praying, I was fully immersed in the energy of Jesus, of the day he resurrected, right? I think that's Easter when he resurrected. And that's the day I resurrected. And that's kind of like coinciding to this time of my life where I've had many ego deaths. You know, I've done this merry-go-round of spirituality, of wow, removing a layer and going through the pain of letting an old version of me die and renewing again. So I get what Jesus did. I get. And I feel like I was in this big part of my journey right now of really unleashing my creativity, because I'm doing the artist's way. If you see my previous video, it's week 1 of the artist's way. And then I'm going to do another video next for the week 2. And I'm going to do every week to keep myself updated on this process. And it's been very magical this whole week that I was in Seville. It was just absolutely stunning. And then of course I left the Easter Mass feeling so light, feeling so loved, feeling so right about my life, that I'm in the right path, that it's okay, it took as long as it took, that I'm just here now and it's perfect. And I felt this sense of surrender that, wow, I was missing that. You know, I felt that, but it's another layer. You know, I don't know about you if you're in a spiritual path, but my spiritual path has been a spiral. You know, it goes like this. It's not like, oh, I did it. It's like, I did it. Okay, let me do it a little better. Oh, let's go another deeper level. I mean, and ascending on the spiral of ascension, I believe, until you're able to maintain it naturally. And that's what, that's my journey. That's my path. I don't know if I chose to be in this path, but that's my path now. Once you're in a spiritual path, I don't think you can not be in a spiritual path. So beware. Stay in the matrix. I think it's easier, you know, just like, go to work, da 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 da. Don't think much, you know, don't question life, because that's not my mission. My mission was to question life. And to enjoy, of course, life. But most of all, I had a lot of spiritual and religious coincidences. And then I went to see this church with the Macarena. Apparently, this Macarena is the virgin that is the most. Look at her. She's beautiful. She's the most, like, she's crying. I don't know if she has something special about her. Maybe she performed some sort of miracle. She feels very alive. So I didn't see her procession, but I went to see her church. And look at this. I got this little thing that it's from the Macarena. It's made of mother of pearl with little hearts. I don't know if you can see it. With the Macarena here, the Virgin and Jesus. And the thing is, let me show you this thing. I'm gonna have to show you my boobs, so be prepared. I put this thing on, and I never had that experience before. A few years ago, when I was going through a very deep layer of my spiritual awakening, I had a message. You know the voice that told me, go to the procession? I had a voice that told me, I was painting something a few days before. I had an experience, a spiritual experience, that I made a painting and it became a symbol. I didn't know. I thought I was going to paint a flower or something, and a symbol showed up. It was an intuitive painting. And one day on a Friday the 13th, I got the message, tattoo this on your chest, in the center of your chest. And I am not a tattoo girl. I am not a tattoo girl. I know this story is going to make sense, I promise. And I said, no, I'm not going to tattoo something. That's insane. No, that's too much, universe, God, whoever you are, that's not an order I'm going to follow. And then I got signs the whole day. A random friend called me and said, let's get a tattoo. And I said, what? No, 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 no. And then the voice just kept coming. Tattoo it in the center. Tattoo it in the center. Today, today, today. I think it was like 11 o'clock at night. I went to a random tattoo parlor and I did tattoo this thing. I'll show you. In my chest. Look at that. Da-da-da. And guess what? It's a symbol. It's now my logo. I don't know how to explain this if you see it. And guess what? Look at where the saint... sorry, saint. Look at where the saint goes. Immediately on top of my tattoo. I don't know if it makes sense. Yeah. And when I saw this, I was like, what? So, and it's funny because it's the same symbol. It's a woman with a crown, because my tattoo, to me, what it meant was like an enlightened woman, a woman with a crown, with the open arms. But it was also the mountain and the sun. I will try to put the symbol somewhere. And it's just like, I never saw the symbol ever anywhere. I looked for it, on Googled it. And it seems like this is not a coincidence. So, I came to Seville by chance to be blessed. And another beautiful thing that happened in my blessings was that, another coincidence. I moved 2 months ago to a new home that is so cute, and it's close to a dance studio. And the dance studio had flamenco classes. And I never thought about flamenco classes until it was offered at the dance studio. And I said, oh, sure, I'll take flamenco classes Saturday morning, no problem. And I took about 5 flamenco classes. I even bought some sort of made in China flamenco shoes. They were actually tap shoes. And I was having fun, expressing myself with flamenco, whatever. And guess what? I came to Seville, the city of flamenco. Coincidence? I don't think so. So what happened was, I saw that they had all these beautiful flamenco things that I bought. Of course, look, like they use flamenco flowers. Oh, let's put a flower. They have all these scarves that I got a scarf. Look at this beautiful scarf. Ooh, I love it. Ole. Wait. It just got tangled with the cross. Okay, no cross and scarf at the same time. So either Jesus or flamenco. Okay, got it. Woo! Right? Isn't this amazing? Okay, where's the flower? Flower. Do not fall. Okay, let's try. It's a show and tell, It's a talent show. What's it called? I don't know if this stays. Well, let's try. And then I got some more fans. I already have a collection of fans, but of course, you would need to get more fans. Of course. I mean, I'm a shopaholic after all. Sorry, my mom always said that that's a problem. I think that's a superpower. I'm trying to put this flower in my ear. Okay, so then what happened was I wanted to get one of these flamenco dresses, but they're freaking expensive. You know, they're like from 300 euros to, I don't know. They cost a lot of money, and I didn't want to spend 300 euros on a flamenco dress. So what did I do? I found a thrift store where I don't have them with me now because I'm no longer in Seville. I'm in Gijón, Asturias, and I left my dresses in the plane because they were freaking heavy. But you will see. I found this thrift store, Humana, that sells old style flamenco dresses from the past year that the girls would never wear again, but they wear it once or twice, and they're pretty, like they're handmade. They're, hand stitching. It's not like a factory that makes them for 20 euros each. So I got 4 of these very heavy, a lot of fabric, flamenco dresses. And I was like, what do I do with these? I'm going to do a photo shoot. So I hired a local photographer that was also a cinematographer, Antonio. He was amazing, and I was like, of course I'm gonna do pictures at the Plaza de Sevilla and at this park, and like just let my creativity flow. So thank you, Artist's Way, because I totally was all out there with these outfits, with the feeling of the sunlight and and the flamenco and the blood boiling and all of these energies, and being blessed by God and letting my creativity, which is God's gift to the humanity, out. It was amazing. And I took the most stunning pictures. Stunning. I looked stunning. Everything was stunning. And I'm finally letting myself be this stunning woman that I am. I know. I know I'm beautiful. I always had this concept in my mind, but I didn't accept it on a full body basis. I was always like, okay, it's a concept. I'm beautiful. But I never had the experience of being beautiful up until like last year or a year before that I started learning what it is to feel beautiful, which is a whole different world. And not only to feel beautiful, to feel stunning, to feel like this artist that I am, to feel like everything that I am, to really feel all of me inside of me, exploding, radiating, alive. Ah, yes, it's pretty orgasmic, let me tell you. And I remember just being at the park after we took the photo shoot, which it was supposed to last 2 hours, and it lasted like 3 or 4 because the photographer got carried away. And I remember just saying, I was carrying everything myself, and I said, I need an assistant, I need something. And this random guy, Tommaso, this Italian guy, showed up out of nowhere, and he was offering to help with the light. He was doing the reflector, he was carrying stuff. So I manifested that. The photographer was so happy. He was like, oh, you know what to do. Oh my God, yes, do this. So we had all these ideas, all these variations of outfits with my crazy dresses that I was carrying and changing naked in the park. Thanks God I didn't get arrested, but I did my best. And so after that, we were just having a water by there was a park bar or something, cafe. We're having a water there, and people started asking to take pictures with me. And I thought, oh my God, this is what a famous person, an artist, must feel like. And so I took some pictures with some people, and then after like the 3rd person, I said, okay, it's 5 euros, everybody. And this woman, I was joking, all right? This woman gave me a euro coin, and I kept it. I don't know where I have it, but I kept it. Because this is the first payment as an artist that I got. So I felt so good. I felt so good with that euro. I felt so happy. And that was my time in Sevilla. Oh my God, I had the best time ever in Sevilla. And now it's a sunny day in Gijón, Asturias. I'm gonna go out with this amazing outfit. It's more of a Sevilla outfit than a Gijón outfit, but because I didn't have a chance to wear it in Sevilla because I was sick, about 2 days I didn't wear outfits. I'm gonna wear it here. I'm gonna go out in the streets and enjoy my life and enjoy Gijón and see what kind of miracles and stories I'm gonna gather so I can tell you next time. Love you, and I hope you enjoyed this story. If you want more of this, I don't know if this is what people want to hear. Give me a like and write down something, ask me questions. And if you want to see the live action of these stories, go down on my Instagram. It's probably linked somewhere here below because I post a lot. So, mwah, have a nice day.